What's going on, people? Look, I'm trying something different. Um, a new a new series. Uh, let's give it a preliminary name like Jefe Files. I research specific topics, and over the last few months, I've been I keep hearing about polygamy. Poly, are you into poly? How you feel about poly? And I'm like, what y'all talking about? Polly Pocket? You know, we talking about Cabbage Patch? I mean, what are we talking about? And I figure out, polygamy as in the marrying of multiple wives and all of that stuff, right? So I'm not. There's a lot of things I do know about a lot of things, and there's a lot of things I don't know, and I know a little bit. So what we're going to do, and what these series are going to do, we're going to learn this together. This is informative. We're going to go through, we're going to learn the history of polygamy and why is it becoming popular now, and uh, is this something that is going to be more so like a more prevalent, more, what word am I looking for? More, it's going to happen more. We'll see an increase, a bigger increase over the years as we continue to move up um, in the years in 2030 and 2040, where we start seeing men and women, two and three husbands and wives and stuff. So I'm gonna dive right in. I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna dive in. Say, no, I'm just playing. But I'm just curious. I'm curious. So polygamy, first off, is the practice of having more than one spouse. Obviously, specifically, polygyny, Polygny, polygny. Okay. Polygamy is the practice of one man taking more than one wife, while polyandry, spell that. Polyandry, Polya. Can you use it in a sentence? But anyways, excuse me. Polygamy is the practice of one man taking more than one wife, while polyandry is the practice of one woman taking more than one husband. Polygamy is a common marriage pattern in some parts of the world. In North America, polygamy has not been a culturally normative or legally recognized institution since the continent's colonization by the Europeans. You Euros. You Euro stepping out of line. Don't be telling people what to do. Polygamy became a significant social and political issue in the United States in 1852 when the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints made it known that a form of the practice called plural marriage was a part of its doctrine. So, the David Koreshes, the Jim Jones, those guys who use religion to and start these occultic followings and would have will be telling these people they're a prophet, and that only they can sleep with the women and the wives and the children. It's funny how, like I said, religion is something that's supposed to give people hope and something to uplift you. People use to manipulate and to have sex with people. I guess that's the ultimate goal. Let's just have sex with everybody. Sounds good. Moving forward. Opposition to the practice by the United States government resulted in an intense, that's a lot, in an intense, say that 3 times fast. I just did. All right. In an intense legal conflict, a culminated and, excuse me, and culminated in the LDS Church, which is the Church of Latter-day Saints. The church president, Wilford Woodruff, announcing the church's official abandonment of the practice on September 25th, 1890. However, breakaway Mormon fundamentalist groups living mostly in the western United States, Canada, and Mexico still practice plural marriage. Plural marriage. I wonder what the polygamists, the Palandry. That Palandry just makes me think of Landry Jones or Jarvis Landry. Or I just keep thinking about football players every time. So, of course, again, polygamy defined is as the practice or condition of having more than one spouse at the same damn time. At the same damn time. At the same damn time. I'm on Pluto. I'm at Mars. At the same damn time. At the same damn time. Sorry. But more so, I don't care about Canada. I don't care about Mexico. I don't care about Europe. I don't care about the African continent, Australia, Alaska, anything, Asia. I don't care. Russia. I don't care. All I care about is United States. And why is it now like those is coming here? Like, why is it becoming seeming to be pushed in the front? Not like so much, but I'm saying for the people in my age group, it has been brought up to me multiple times as far as polygamy, how you feel about it, do you believe in it? And I feel like I need to educate myself before I give an educated answer. So this is me. My initial reaction and thoughts is that polygamy, anything can work if you have the right people. If the people understand the rules of engagement, understand that, you just have to, when you go into something like that, when you're splitting time with somebody, you have to understand that, hey, your time, just because you want that time, that you just gotta stay in your lane in that, like in that relationship. If you get Tuesdays, Saturdays, you don't be calling him on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't know, but so I thought my first impression is it could work given the people that you're trying to make it work with. Does that make sense? Like, if everybody else gets it, but the one person, like it's one person, it's always one. The one person that wants to make it difficult. Well, today is my day. No, tomorrow is your day. Or like whatever. Okay, so I'm trying to educate myself. Excuse me, Mike. Excuse me. I didn't mean to get too rough on you. There's two mics here. So, anyways, this is us educating each other through me to you. So you're vicariously learning something today. All right. So, United States, the legality of polygamy in North America. Do I really care about the legality? Do I really? Do y'all? Yeah, I might not. But just because I'm just skimming through it real quick. Polygamy is the act or condition of a person marrying another person while still being lawfully married to another spouse. It is illegal in the United States. The crime is punishable by fine, imprisonment, or both. Don't prison me, because I got two cheeks. According to the law of the individual state and the circumstances of the offense, polygamy was outlawed in federal territories by the Edmunds Act, and there are laws against the practice in all 50 states, as well as the District of Columbia, Guam, and Puerto Rico. Because state laws exist, polygamy, slow down, is not actively prosecuted at the federal level, but the practice is considered against public policy. What's against public policy? I mean, people should be able to do what they want. You have same-sex marriage. You have people that's 20 marrying somebody 60, 70. Why can't somebody who wants to be married to 2, 3 people and they all on board be able to do so? I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying I'm not God, and we should stop playing God and try to tell people to do with their lives. Just say, hey, police the bad and the good. But as far as policing my actual life and the things that I do inside, I think that's bullcrap, and people need to stay out of that. All right, moving forward. I'm about to have him because but the practice is considered against public policy, and accordingly, the United States government does not recognize bigamous marriages for immigration purposes. That is, would not allow one of the spouses to petition for immigration benefits for the other, even if they are illegal in the country where the bigamous marriage was celebrated. An immigrant who is coming to the United States to practice polygamy is inadmissible. Okay, so, bigamy. Many U.S. courts, and they're referring to Turner versus State, some Mississippi, some maybe, treat bigamy as a strictly liability crime. In some jurisdictions, a person can be convicted of a felony even if he reasonably believed he had only one legal spouse. For example, if a person has the mistaken belief that their previous spouse is dead or that their divorce is final, they can still be convicted of bigamy if they marry a new person. Utah, which everybody knows, reduced polygamy for a third-degree felony to a minor infraction on May 13th, 2020. I remember a few years back, Lil Wayne was talking about they pitched him a reality TV series show, and it was him basically living in Utah, and he would have like 2, 3, 4 wives, basically the polygamous thing, which is funny because it's like, how legitimate would that have been? I mean, clearly it was a third-degree felony before 2020, so y'all have been putting Wayne in a bad spot. He turned it down. He said it was crazy, but interesting that you would want a black brother to put himself in that type of position, because don't make me open up the population of Utah, and I can guarantee you a dude like Lil Wayne is not living out there, so I don't even get it. All right, I'm really infatuated, and what I really want to get into is the history. Where does it come from? Obviously, I would think it comes from you just want a little bit more. Man, Jennifer Lopez is fine, but from over here, did you see that Indian just come? You see Shawty right there too? So the girls, oh, look at this Jamaican man. Girl, look at this old strong African warrior. This Indian prince. Girl, I need all 3 of them. How much? Put them in the bag. Let's roll. Kind of like Rush Hour. I always love that. Like, I wish. I'm sidetracking. So what? I wish I could go like Rush Hour, and like I get to pick my women. You see my face? I'm getting excited. And like they open the doors, and then it's just a whole bunch of chicks. You remember how Chris Tucker was like, "Oh snap! I want you. I want her. I want you. I want her. I want you. I want her." That would be me. That would be my like Ayo in the perfect world. Yeah. Artist, Miss Jefe, hippie, what you looking to get today? Oh, she wasn't here yesterday. Let me get her. Oh, and she's Russian. I want to try that. Trinidad and Tobago, come here. Oh, you got the Chinese joke with the hips. The joke from Somalia. Oh, you girl. You just know you need to get down here, you Nubian. Get here. Come here. I leave with like 15 people a day. 15. And you know what? We probably just sit in the house and smoke tree and watch Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus and porn. It's like, no. Okay. So the history. Let's get into the history. Briefly. Scots, Irish settlers. I guess that's Scottish and Irish. And some Welsh. Alrighty. And I'm just saying, don't take this the wrong way. All of that sound like white people. And I'm just saying, y'all, white people, y'all be starting this nasty stuff. Y'all be trying to get it in. Y'all be having a ball in your mouth with your, damn, I'm messing up my mic, with your arms tied up with a string hanging out your ass. I'm like, what is going on with y'all? I mean, sex is good, but damn. Scots, Irish settlers, and some Welsh immigrants carried long-standing multiple partner traditions from Europe to Americans. Utopian and communal groups, which were established during the mid-19th century, had varying marriage systems, including group marriage and polygamy. There is also some evidence for the existence of multiple marriage partners in the American South, particularly after the Civil War. Polygamy has also been practiced discreetly by some Muslims who are living in America. However, of course, these polygamous marriages are not recognized by American law because polygamy has been illegal throughout the United States since the mid-19th century, and because it is illegal in many individual states before the period of time, sources on alternate marriage practices are limited. Consequently, it is difficult to get a clear picture of the extent of the practice, both in the past and present. There's a lot of stuff we don't understand. I don't understand why you wear spikes in your hair, or why you get the big earlobes. I don't know why you get your nose pierced. I don't know why you get the top of the back of your, people get the top right here, the neck pierced. I don't know why people do a lot of the stuff they do. Doesn't mean I'm going to tell them what to do. Why'd you grow your hair, artist? Because I wanted locks. I love the story of Samson, and I feel like my power comes from my hair. Right? Simple. This is how I feel. It's my thing. So I say all that to say, people need to worry about the damn self. Moving forward. They talk about the Latter-day Saints. Hold up, I see Utah. Because it's a lot. And I got a couple of tabs and I want to get to it. And we already at 17 minutes. I'm not trying. I want this to be a good, quick series. Not a quick series, but a series that we can laugh. Ha ha. But we're getting some information in and we're getting out the way. Okay? The attention spans are only so much. It's only so much y'all can take. Y'all gonna be pausing this joint about 4-5 times. It's gonna take y'all 5 days to watch this. Okay, so the Latter-day Saints. I saw some about Utah in there. After the death of Joseph Smith, the practice of polygamy continued to exist in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter. That is a mouthful. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, church. So then they put LDS Church. We're going to call it the LDS Church. LDS Church. All right. Continued to exist in the LDS Church, which was then led by Brigham Young in the territory that became Utah. That's how we got to Utah. That's how it got there. Okay. Let's go back. See, that's why you got to read some stuff. You can't just skip. Let me go back. The Mormon practice of plural marriage was officially introduced by Joseph Smith, the founder of LDS. I'm not saying that ever again, that whole name of that church. On July 12th, 1843, because polygamy was illegal in the state of Illinois. It was practiced in secret during Smith's lifetime. Oh, so y'all was some freaks back in the 1800s. So all that talk about women wearing full clothes and being all more respectful. Nah, y'all was still spanking them down. They had the brothels. Yeah. Oh, I tried to pop. So, It was practiced in secret during Smith's lifetime during the 1839 to 1844 Nauvoo era, Nauvoo era, while several Mormon leaders, including Smith, Brigham Young, and Heber C. Kimball, took plural wives. Any Mormon leaders who publicly taught the polygamous doctrine was disciplined. For example, Hiram Brown was excommunicated on February 1st, 1844. In May 1844, Smith declared, "What a thing it is for a man to be accused of committing adultery and having 7 wives when I can only find one." Is that what it's about? Is that why it's outlawed? Because there's some jamoke, some jabroni, huh? Some jabroni? He's mad because he can only jack to one? But my man, he's getting grapes fed to him by 1, strawberries fed to him by 2, getting a little bit of by 3, catching a little by 4. Oh, you're mad because you can't get past only Sue Bird. Your girl Sue Bird is a 3. And you see my man Daquan over here with all 8, 9s, and 10s, and you're upset because you're trying to figure out what is he doing different than you're doing. Maybe it's the size. Pow. They try to say size don't matter. Yes, it does. At least a little bit. Because you ain't showing nobody no little shrimp, and then you about to get 3, 4, 5, 6 women. No, sir. You must be in there with the pow. Wow. And they like, oh, damn, he got enough to fill all of us. Or you got the... Because when you got the dough, you could just throw the money out. Hey, baby. Baby. And then everybody just, I need, money. I love you. I'll deal with everything that you want to do and call me a piece of crap and a slut and whatever. But long as I get this money from you, whatever. But that sounds like maybe the reason why I got outlawed. It sounds like some guy couldn't get past 1 girl and he's blown because there's guys who can get 10 girls. And he's like, that's not fair. How can you get... Why I gotta be stuck with this one joint for 50 years and you get 10 joints ranging from 20 to 44? Like, what? All right, so moving forward. And that's when, after the death of Joseph Smith, the practice of polygamy continued to exist in the LDS and then in the territory that became Utah and the surrounding areas. 1852, Young felt the LDS Church in Utah was secure enough to publicly announce their practice of polygamy. However, opposition from the U.S. government. From who? Oh, the U.S. government? Why are they worried about that? Why do y'all worry about this guy trying to have sex with everybody? Why? Don't worry about me when I'm trying to have sex, okay? I already got enough stuff going on. Last thing I need is the government listening in to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting in. I'm just, girl. And all that, whatever. So, let's move on. Because we get the point. So, I'm kind of understanding opposition from the government. Woodrow, I keep him Woodrow Wilson. That's what I want to call him. Wilford Woodruff announced the LDS Church official abandonment of the such and such. Cool. Mormon. Yeah. Care about that. Current polygamous groups, members of the Fundamentalist Church of I didn't realize they was about to tell me this. They were about to give me the name of a new church, and it's just as longer than the last one. Members of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, FLDS, practice polygamy and arranged marriages that often, but not always, place young girls with older men. Yes, that's when I draw my line. How young are we talking? Most FLDS members live in Hilldale, Utah, and Colorado City, Arizona, about 350 miles southwest of Salt Lake. Hey, Cardo, I got cousin Cardo out there. He coaching. Cuzzo, go ahead, hit you about 3, 4 of them Jones. Call me. Let me know how it is. I come out there. We can do something. You know what I'm saying? We can do a little something. And good luck on your upcoming year. But I've been out Salt Lake. I had a night. I lost a night out there. And that's a long story. That's a story for another day. Matter of fact, I might be coming up with a new podcast with my man Kofi, 2 Scorpio. Well, Malik's a Scorpio too, but it's gonna be more of a grown talk. I might get some of these crazy stories in those. So about 350 miles southwest of Salt Lake City. Salt Lake is actually a beautiful city. I was there. That's where I lost my night. With other communities in Canada, Texas, and other areas of North America and West, the FLDS leader is currently Warren Jeffs. I wonder how many wives he has. I'm gonna just click on this and see what his deal is. He's nothing to really look at. He's 6'3". So the woman's like, oh, you tall. Oh, wait. Hold that pause. See, he's overdoing it. His spouses, as many as 70. That is too much. And see, now this is the issue. Watch this. See, I'm glad I clicked on him. Warren Steed Jeffs, born the 3rd of December 1955, is the president of that extremely long church name that I'm not ever going to say again, FLDS Church, a polygamous denomination. In 2001, he was convicted of 2 felony counts of child sexual assault, of course, because like I said, these are the people that tell these guys that only I can sleep with the women and the children, and the girls, basically. He was convicted of 2 felony counts of child sexual assault, for which he is currently serving a life sentence plus 20 years. They kill me with the plus 20 years. I'm going to die. You can't capture my soul. Your soul trying to go to heaven or hell, and it's like, nah, you got 20 more years. No! In 2006, Jeff was placed on the FBI's top 10 most wanted list for his flight from the charges that he had arranged illegal marriages between his adult male followers and underage girls in Utah. There's a lot of pedophilia in the United States. And the world, actually, but definitely in the United States. So just keep an eye and ear to the ground on that. Why do I keep hitting my equipment? Is my head that maybe I'm too close? I'm all in 2007, Arizona charged him with 8 additional counts in 2 separate cases, including incest. You nasty son of a bitch. And sexual conduct with minors. Oh, Lord Jesus, if you touch my daughters. Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, Lord. Make me want to sing a hymn. Make me want to say, That's crazy. In September 2007, Jeff was convicted of 2 counts of rape as an accomplice. He was holding the arms down while my man was working, for which he was sentenced to imprisonment for 10 years to life. So you get, okay, so you get 2, hold up. Then you have 2 life sentences? Oh, wait. So then you got 2 life sentences plus 20 years. So you got to die twice plus 20. I don't know how long they're going to imprison that man's soul. It's going to be there for a long time. This conviction was overturned by the Utah Supreme Court in 2010 due to flawed jury instructions. Jeff was extradited to Texas, and we've seen Borat. We know that they're okay with almost anything. Buying a cage for your daughter. How much is my 16-year-old daughter worth? $500. They for everything out there. So I'm sure. Let's see what Texas does. Where he was found guilty. Oh, okay. Of sexual assault of a child for sex with a 15-year-old he had married. And aggravated sexual assault against a child for sex with a 12-year-old he had married, for which he was sentenced to life in prison plus 20 years and fined $10,000. How you gonna get the $10,000? Is he has like assets? I'm gonna take him that way because he's locked up for life, 2 life sentences plus 20 years. So here we go. You got the guy with the 15-12. Now we're getting to see. Now we're getting our pros. Now we're getting our cons. Now we're getting the discussion. That's a little bit of the bond. See the shoulder? You see it? I don't think you can see it because the shoulder's not all the way in the film. But I'm doing the bond like a Harlem Shake. Come on, watch along, came Polly. I'm not going to explain things to you people. All right, I'm done with this trife ball. He has 70 women, or supposedly, and you're a joke. You're a joke for that one, brother. Enjoy your 2 life sentences in 20 years. So, multiple divorce and marriage for polygamy. I think this is interesting. Let me just go through this really quickly. Some polygamous families use a system of multiple divorce and legal marriage as a loophole in order to avoid committing a criminal act. In such cases, the husband marries the first wife, she takes his last name, he divorces her, and then marries the next wife, who takes his last name. This practice is repeated until he has married and divorced all of his wives, with the possible exception of his last one. This way, the wives feel justified in calling themselves Mrs. Husband last name, and while they are legally divorced from the husband, they act as if they are still married to him and expect those around them to acknowledge and respect this arrangement. Since only one wife is officially married to the husband at any one time, no law is being broken. And so this type of polygamous family unit can be overt about its relationship. The conviction of Thomas Arthur Green in 2001, many have made the legal status of such relationships more precarious in Utah, although Green's bigamy convictions were only made possible by his own public statements. Thomas Arthur Tom Green, can you stop moving it? I'm trying to read it. Is a Mormon fundamentalist in Utah who was a practitioner of plural marriage. After a high-profile trial, Green was convicted by the state of Utah on May 18, 2001 on 4 counts of bigamy and 1 count of failure to pay child support. All right, so polygamy today, Mormon fundamentalist sects, that's what it says, sects, tends to aggregate an individual communities of their own specific sect and basis for polygamy. These small groups range from a few hundred up to 10,000 and are located across Western North America. Here are some of the places: Pringle, South Dakota. Come on down. Starring 6'5", 235 pounds. He's coming straight from Centennial Park, Arizona. Put your hands up. Colorado City, Arizona. Bonners Ferry, Idaho. Lavelle, Wyoming. Pinesdale, Montana. Mancos, Colorado. Davis County, Utah. Salt Lake County, Utah. They got whole counties. They don't even got cities. The county. The whole area. Tooele County. Tooele County, Utah. Utah County, Utah. All right, I'm moving to Utah. No, you moving to Utah? Nah. Utah. Bro, you're saying the same thing twice. No, the city is Utah. State, Utah. The double U. Motaqua, Utah. Cedar City, Utah. Hannah, Utah. Hilldale, Utah. Okay, we get the point, Utah. The state, Utah. We're not even going to read the rest of the Utah. Preston, Nevada. Lund, Nevada, which, of course, Nevada doesn't surprise me because they have, like, legal prostitution and stuff down there. So they be down there just... Come here, girl. I said, come here, girl. Is that you standing over there on the corner of the road? Chris Tucker, Def Comedy Jam. Come on, man. I think we're talking to the same audience that's the same age as me. Come on. They have a bunch of polygamy cases. Am I going to go through them? No. Could we get the point? I keep saying 16-year-old girls in Colorado, and took 430. Hold on. In 2008. Oh, wait. That just caught my eyeballs. In 2008, starting on April 4th, Texas state officials took 436 women and children into temporary legal custody after Rosita Swinton, a 33-year-old woman living in Colorado Springs, Colorado, called both Texas social service and local shelter, claiming to be a 16-year-old girl. She made a series of phone calls to the authorities in late March, claiming she had been beaten and forced to become a spiritual wife to an adult man. Acting on her calls, authorities raided the ranch in El Dorado, about 40 miles south of San Angelo, The YFZ Ranch is owned by the fundamentalist church. I'm not saying that. FLDS, a Mormon offshoot that practices polygamy. 2 men were arrested for obstructing the raid but were later released. Several men were found guilty and convicted of sexual assault, rape, and bigamy involving underage girls. Why do y'all like them so young? Why do you need it so tight? Look, bruh. I got 2 daughters. I'll kill you. Moving on. So I mean, so far, the cons, and I'm not talking about the cons who own the Jaguars, and no, the cons, CONS, is that people, like most things, will take something that is wholesome and turn it into something that's evil. I'm just saying, just because you can leave the kids out of this, it could just be strictly 18 and up. But once you start dropping down there 16, 15, 14, well, even though 16 is technically legal in a lot of these states, look into your states. A lot of these 16 is good. But just the really 16, 15, 14, you're a 40, 50, 60-year-old man. What do you need from a 12, 13, 15, 14? That's the con I'm seeing. It's the typical people use the religion to get their rocks off. Like I said, no offense. Don't care about Canada. Don't care about nobody else. I live in America. All right. So now we're going to go over to, that was Wikipedia. This is an article off of the Daily Beast, because I was trying to figure out why is polygamy more popular than ever. What is this? Listen. Don't make me body slam you, all right? Why is it more popular than ever? Or why do I feel like it is? So it says polygamy is more popular than ever. American approval ratings for polygamous marriage hovers around 16% right now. In other words, it's more popular than any GOP 2016 candidate. I guess this was first published in 2015 and then it was revised in 2017. So that's where that joke came from. How does the nursery rhyme goes? First comes love, then comes marriage, then as many concurrent marriages as you want. Was that supposed to make me laugh? Because that was not funny. The percentage of Americans who find polygamy to be morally acceptable has been more than doubled since 2001. Don't cite more than doubled. It's barely like 9%. I get it. Yeah, it's not astronomical. According to new results of a Gallup survey tracking opinions on key moral issues since the early 2000s, in 2001, only 7% of Americans deemed polygamy morally acceptable. I'd never liked these type of statements because I've never been asked a damn question. Ever. Like even just maybe you took these surveys. Well, how did you ask me? Like, how's your numbers even real? You haven't asked everybody. I'm not saying in 2001 I would have known what the hell you were talking about, but I'm just saying in general. It's 2020. Anybody ask me? You got somebody double. So I don't know what you're talking about. Now 16% say they don't find it objectionable. Is polygamy a serious contender for the next moral and constitutional marriage debate in the United States? While the legalization of same-sex marriages actually opened the door for plural marriages, as some of its opponents have argued, or is there a limit to polygamy's seemingly meteoric rise in acceptability? Polygamy is still far from popular, but support from the practice is gathering quiet momentum, and its moment could arrive sooner than anticipated. Conservative columnist from the New York Times, Ross Douthat. His name is really almost like Douthat. Do that. Douthat. Douthat predicted that polygamy could be legalized in the United States as soon as 2040. Given the change of rate and its acceptance. I mean, like I said, Shouldn't be policing people, their personal lives. And if you have same-sex marriages and all this other stuff that's going on, why can't somebody marry 4 or 5 women if all of them are on the same page? If Slim is cool with sharing a bed with 3, 4 other women, and the other 3, 4 other women cool too, and I'm cool, can you mind your damn business? Thank you. In a phone interview, Brad Wilcox, director of National Marriage Project at the University of Virginia, more or less agrees with that prediction. He tells the Daily Beast that there is no way to predict when or if polygamy will become law, but if it does, it could happen in the next 20 or 30 years. Although that may seem sudden, how? 20 or 30 years don't seem sudden. I've been alive for 30 years, and the marriage laws changed in 2008. So time changes, at least for me. It took 18 years. Although that may seem sudden, polygamist has managed to find moral support with surprising speed. Of all of the issues tracked by Gallup, including items as diverse as abortion, gambling, stem cell research, and wearing fur, the shift in Americans' approval of polygamy over the past 15 years is most dramatic, matched only by doubling of support for human cloning over the same time period. We'll talk about human cloning in another video because there's a lot on that, and I know a lot about that. Also, a lot of the older mindset and the older traditions, like people that from the older generations, they're dying off, and what's being left is the younger generation, and we are the ones that are pushing the envelope. We're the ones that always want to change things, and we're the ones that have, especially with the internet and technology that we're getting, we are able to reach out and speak to more people than we normally could. So it opens that door a little easier to make this happen, because a lot of people want to deal with a lot of people at one time. Some people just don't want one guy. Some people want 2 and 3 guys. Some people want a main and 2 side pieces. Some people want out, so it makes sense why now, 20, 30 years, yeah, because 20, 30 years from now, it's going to be that young mindset. And since it's going to be already transitioned and pushed on them from such a young age, and been watching it for 20, 30 years, then it's going to be natural. And now that older mindset, like with people like me, will be what, 20, 50, 60 years old, maybe on their way out the door. And now y'all coming up and y'all make the laws then. So definitely happen. I hope that happens with racism. All you old racist people, whatever color you are, you'll pass away. And I hope you die with that ignorance. And the people that come after you can learn to live in just harmony with each other. Right? So same-sex relationships, divorce, and extramarital sex have all enjoyed considerable increases in public support. Since the early 2000s. But polygamy has been something of a dark horse, finally crossing the threshold from being a fringe issue to becoming a practice that more than 1 in 7 Americans could condone. They always kill me to about one in so many people. How about 1 in this? Even more surprising, Americans are now far more accepting of polygamous marriages than they are of extramarital affairs, and monogamous marriages prove perhaps the quality really does matter more than the quantity. But what's behind this spike in polygamy popularity? Thank you. That's what I want to know. Easy to point to television shows. I always tell you, television is programming. Easy to point to television shows like Sister Wives, never heard of it, and Big Love, never heard of it, as doth that does in his times op op I don't know what they're trying to say. As evidence that it's like op dash ed as his times op whatever, as evidence that polygamy has received the voyeuristic blessings of American pop culture, and because you have a lot of your celebrities out here pushing it, or like a lot of celebrities coming out saying they're pansexuals and stuff. Like they put these things out, and people be like, "Oh, I think I'm one too." Look up this stuff first, please. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but please research before you just start kissing ass. Um, and it's even easier as a self-professed slippery sloper like Dothat also proves to position polygamy as a logical endpoint of LGBT acceptance. Can a cultural left that believes in proliferating gender identities and Caitlyn Jenner's essential womanhood draw the line long term at polygamy? See, that's not fair. Now you're trying to you're mixing issues. You're mixing two topics. I don't agree with that. You're talking about gender identities, and you're talking about marrying multiple women. What are we talking about? You're lost. You're losing me in your argument right now. Doth that, whatever his name is. This is where I was saying. So, in the United States, polygamy exists at a curious intersection of social libertarianism, religious fundamentalism, and radical polyamory. I mean, the words. Can y'all just talk? They up here trying. And the synthesis of the strange bedfellows in every state. I mean, in every sense of the term. For his part, Brad Wilcox of the NMP attributes polygamy's increasing popularity to an increasingly libertarian or laissez-faire view that many younger Americans take towards sex, marriage, and family life. In other words, support for polygamy may not be the bottom of a slippery same-sex marriage slope, but rather a shared outcome of changed beliefs about the government's role in family building. I can feel that. Look at that. Some far right commentators like Daniel Greenfield at Front Page Mag are already heralding the Gallup survey as a sign of collapsing values. But polygamy seems to be as much of a product of a distinctly conservative belief in limited government as it is in the result of social liberalism run amok. I apologize. I got this one wisdom tooth. And it just started bothering me out of nowhere. It really belong me. Rough estimates place the polygamous population in the United States somewhere between 50,000 and 100,000 people, chiefly in Muslim and fundamentalist Mormon families. Basic moral acceptance from 15% of Americans does not necessarily translate into political advocacy for an extremely small population that already exists on the religious margins of the United States. Studies have shown that polygamy may be detrimental to women and children as well as lower status men who are ostracized by its practice. The vast majority of polygamous families in the United States and worldwide are polygamous, men with more than one wife, rather than polyandrous, women with more than one husband, which, sheesh, I don't know. Like, it's just a woman with more than one husband. They both are the same thing. A man has 4 or 5 wives. A woman has 4 or 5 husbands. It's just, sheesh, you getting it. I don't know why it just sounds worse. Like, she getting 4, 5 of them Jones. She getting hit by 4 or 5 dudes a day, or however. And then you be like, yeah, my man hit 4 or 5. Why is it like that? No, I don't get it. It's weird. I mean, I guess in the sense that, they say men are dogs and animals and savages, and y'all kind of expect us to be such lioness and, monsters when it comes to the cheeks. But then you look at the women and be like, well, y'all supposed to be, dainty and sweet and whatever. Women wanted to. In the context of these polygamous arrangements, polygamy has been linked to everything from domestic violence to heart disease. to heart disease. Maybe your heart can't take all that much loving all the time. This is I came 55 times this week. Heart just can't take it. So let's start that over. In the context of these polygamous arrangements, polygamy has been linked to everything from domestic violence to heart disease to crime to mental health problems for young children, and all this in addition to high-profile cases of rape and child abuse that has emerged from the FLDS, which is the extremely long church name that I'm not going to be saying anymore. This leads experts like Wilcox to conclude that polygamy is a step in the wrong direction. As he wrote for the New York Times, one that conflicts with a commitment to women's rights and child well-being. On paper, then it might be difficult to raise a constitutional objection to polygamy. Justice Scalia suggested as much during the April hearings for Jefe. Oh man, that's a rough last name. Versus Hodges. Jacob Hodges? Jacob? But in practice, it's like, nah, it ain't really Jacob. Shout out Jacob though. But in practice, polygamy is associated with a host of social problems that will weigh it down in a bid for legitimacy. 2 years ago in Brown versus Budman. What's your last name? Budman. Buhman. The Supreme Court may have ruled in favor of allowing multiple cohabitations, but the legalization of plural marriage, if it ever comes, will be hard fought. I don't like to take medicine, but damn it, I'm about to take some. You are not going to be aggravating my mouth all day. Seriously. It's really blowing me. It's like picking up steam or something. Like it's starting to pick up that. It's coming through like Lopez on Triple G. He's coming, he's fighting through me. Okay, so, but that won't stop it from becoming a bizarre cause celebre. In the coming decades, some feminists like Gillian Keenan, writing for Slate, have tried to make a case for polygamy under the guise of a woman's right to choose her spouses. Keenan also supports polygamy as an option for the polyamorous, an emerging term favored by social liberals used to refer people in relationships with multiple partners who may not necessarily be of the same gender. Hold on. Sorry about that. I just had to take something because it is starting to blow me. Whatever. Moving past that. All right, so the Daily Beast. That's what we got from them. Now I went to this other one off of Psychology Today, written in 2012. I didn't even see that. I didn't see this. I hope I don't get some type of backlash for this. The 3 reasons for polygamy. I clicked it because it said the 3 reasons for polygamy. Now that I'm on the page and I'm looking at it, underneath it, it says why the Obamas and the Romneys had multiple wives. Both candidates for the presidency owe their very existence to polygamy. 1. President Obama's father belonged to the polygamous Luo tribe, Luo. Mitt Romney's paternal great-grandfathers moved to Mexico to continue the Mormon practice of polygamy, then outlawed in the United States. So the time is ripe to ask what advantages polygamy has over monogamy. Although plural marriage is banned in developed countries, it is surprisingly common and popular elsewhere, with 55% of women sharing their husbands in benign, is that a place? And an average of 16% of women doing so in less developed nations. Polygamy may be detested in developed countries, but it is practiced to some degree in most societies studied by anthropologists. What did polygamy do for the Obamas and Romneys that they could not accomplish with monogamy? Polygamy, a bird's eye view. Bird's eye view. This shit killing. There are three basic reasons for polygyny in birds. In birds, they were talking about people. First, there may be a scarcity of adult males. Second, some males may have much better genes than others, which is particularly important for populations where there is a heavy load of diseases, parasites to which resistance is genetically heritable. Third, females do better by sharing a mate who defends a good territory. Not in America, not here, not in the DMV. Shit. Whatever. You think you're going to have who? Third, females do better by sharing a mate who defends a good territory with plenty of food and cover than they would by opting to be the single mate in a bad territory. Oh, well, that is true. Because when the dude, like I said, when he got that paper, they'll stick around. So much for birds. Do humans choose polygamy for similar reasons? So they were saying in birds. Oh, so they really was talking about birds. Okay. My research with 32 countries where polygamy is practiced by at least 5% of married women yielded answers. Polygamy is increased where there was a scarcity of males in the population. First reason for birds. That's why birds do it too. Which would make sense. Because if it's 20 women to eat to 3 men, that means a lot of women are going to be left out without getting their butts rubbed. Countries have a heavy. Where I'm a great reader. Why am I reading this wrong? Countries have a heavy infectious disease load. Countries having a heavy infectious disease load have many more polygamous marriages. Second reasons for birds. Can you stop bringing up the birds? Women in disease-prone countries may prefer highly disease-resistant, physically attractive men to father their offspring. Physically attractive men to where you go? To father their offspring, leaving less desirable men without mates. I told you, it's some guy who's mad because he's stuck with 1-5 and cuz is with a bunch of 10 pieces. And he's blowing about that. There's independent evidence that women care more about physical attractiveness in these countries and have a higher sex drive. Yes, women do have a high sex drive. Having economic resources facilitates polygamy for human consistent with resource defense polygamy in birds. If they talk about birds one more time, and they're gonna put reason number 3 talking about for the birds. Thus, there were more polygamous wives in countries where men could monopolize wealth, whether in terms of earned income or farmland, analogous to animal territories. My findings were not new. They corroborated earlier research, but used better data. So humans turn to multiple marriage for the same 3 basic reasons that birds do: scarcity of males, selection for disease-resistant genes, and defense of breeding territory and its economic equivalence. In my study, I also evaluated a number of explanations for polygamy that are routinely trotted out by social scientists and other observers in developed countries who find polygamy repulsive. Contrary to popular assumptions, multiple marriage had nothing to do with poverty, backwardness, or oppression of women, acceptance of wife beating. In my study, of course, that begs the question as to why polygamy survives mostly in underdeveloped countries close to the equator and why it is so unpopular in developed countries. So I was just about to click on this to see why developed worlds, but they answering for me. I'm gonna try to skim through it quickly. And why? It's like I can't. It's like I can't hear myself. I'm not sure if I'm saying the words correctly. Why the developed world hates polygamy? At least three factors are critical. First, instead of a scarcity of males, developed countries have an excess thanks to better public health that saves more males than females. Second, colder winters made it impossible historically for mothers to raise children without substantial help from their husbands. The most important reason that polygamy is out of place in the modern world is that it works best in agricultural societies where children contribute to the farm labor and care of livestock. Developed countries are highly urbanized, and it's very difficult to raise large families in cities because children are a huge drain on finances that last for 2 decades. Hey, blame it on the kids. Thanks to the extent of modern education and agricultural societies. By contrast, children defray the expense of raising them by contributing productive labor to the household economy. Kennedy, you about to start mowing the lawn. Yeah. I need you to retile the roof. Yeah, I got a ladder. You climb up there. I need you with the belt on, the whole belt, with the knickknacks on the side. You come out the got your utility belt. You got to pull your weight. Daddy paying all this money. I need some help. I'm trying to be polygamous. I need help. They said I can't do it because I'm spending money on you for 20 years. Come on. Help me out, Kennedy. Help me. Kennedy's my daughter. My oldest daughter. I love you to a million. That's my youngest daughter. Shout out. Never forget you. Okay. Neither Romney nor Obama has any desire to discuss their polygamous background because they're probably still doing it while. Hey, doing it while. Yo, doing it while. LA Cool J always licking his lips, you know what I'm saying? Both are religious, but they conveniently forgot the beloved. Oh man, my tooth feels so much better already. It said toothache on the back of it, but dang, I've never had something respond that quick. Wow, I can literally feel it. Like, and how does medicine know exactly where to go? Like, goes to your body, like there. Like it's like they could see an issue over there. Like, over there. Do. Like that's them marching with the hammers. Going to fight whatever the pain is. Thank you. I hate medicine, but thank you, Jesus. Both are religious, but they conveniently forgot the beloved patriarchs of the Old Testament like David, Solomon, and Abraham and their many wives, which neighbors were told not to covet. Romney's Mormon ancestors practiced polygamy, but it was mainly confined to the members of the church hierarchy who were wealthier than others in terms of land holdings and could maintain multiple households. And here they go with bird reason number 3. Hold on. Oh, sorry. I could hear. I thought heard my TV talking, but that's somebody in the hallway. Obama's luau ancestors likely practiced polygamy for all 3 bird reasons. Stop with the bird talk. There was scarcity of males, local disease, where a major issue and powerful men could monopolize wealth. The fact that both candidates are descended from recent polygamous ancestors, when no other president candidate ever was, is hold up. No other president, this person has misspelled presidential and it's messing me up. No other presidential candidate ever is a remarkable instance of American diversity. It should be cherished rather than otherwise. That verbiage threw me off. No other presidential, because there's no I, candidate ever is a remarkable instance of American diversity. What does that mean? Did he proofread this before he put this on the line? We're leaving him alone. And the author name is Nigel Barber. Nigel Barber, learn how to spell. God damn it. Moving on. What else is next? Now let's see. It says as many as 83% of societies around the world allow polygamy. That's a lot around the world. 83% society. Let's see. This is from BBC.com, not BBC artist. Polyamorous relationships may be the future of love. And they got this picture of like two. It's so funny. I might have to insert this. I might have to save this and insert this. Let me save this image. They kill me with the images. Hold up. I'm gonna save it and I'm gonna insert this. Y'all gotta see this picture. Let me tag where I'm at so I can remember where to insert this. Hour 5. I hope when I listen to this back, I don't hear all that conversation going on. All right. It says love doesn't just come in pairs. It's a time that marriage laws come to recognize the fact sexual revolutions. Wow. They really want to get down there and like really break it all the way down. Just get to the point. As a child, I don't care about him as a child. Who is that? Somebody named Franklin. I don't care about him. Two male suitors had been wooing her, and she had to choose between them. Franklin wondered why she couldn't choose both. This early insight was revealing. Franklin, you're a weirdo. You know why you can't? Like, why would you just want to have another dude talking to your girl and you know about it? If you gonna talk to another dude, don't let me. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Just do you? Just don't tell me about it. Be like, um, just reading through this. I've never been in a monogamous relationship in my life. When I was in high school, I took 2 dates to my senior prom. I lost my virginity as a threesome. Well, damn. Let's get him signed up for the first round ballot of the Hall of Fame because he's that's a good way to start off. Not only did you go to your prom date with two women, you lost your virginity in a threesome. That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Yeah, that's triple double in the game 7. That's tough. He did that. Today he lives with his longtime girlfriend. Blah, blah, blah. Why are we talking about the person? I want to talk about the whole situation. Let's get down to it. Let's get down to the facts. Let's get down to the facts. Mm-hmm. But love has always been the same, right? A man falls for a woman, they get married, pop out a few children, stay together in a harmonious and monogamous relationship for life. Sorry, romantics, this wasn't and still isn't always a picture of love. Polygamy, where more than one spouse is allowed, we know what it is. Moving on. It appears to have arisen among many other reasons for economic purposes. I guess they're saying that because, like, for economic purposes, like, I'm trying to, okay. Like, it's like, I get it. I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Give me some time to form the thought words. As many as 83% of societies around the world allow polygamy. It made it easier for fathers to divide and share valuable commodities such as land with their children. Monogamy later got hijacked by romantic love by idealistic 19th century Victorians. The idea of sexual exclusive it. Sometimes the tongue just don't want to roll with me. The idea of sexual exclusivity, damn tongue boy, started emerging fairly late in the game, says Professor of Law Hader Averum at UC Hastings College of Who Cares? And he in San Francisco. Weirdos out there. This seems like they're telling me about somebody's lifestyle and not. Okay, here goes some. The word polyamory was first coined in the 1960s and literally means many loves. Yeah. And here I am thinking it came from something deep. No. It means many loves in Latin. That's exactly what it is. But talking to poly individuals make it quickly apparent that there is no way to be poly. There are no immediate rules. Some people, like Franklin, have living partners with additional liaisons outside the home. Others have a mixture of short and long term relationships. Some live in a big group with their partners and their partners' other partners, so called family style polyamory. You get the idea. So this is like kind of following somebody's story. Nor do they seem more likely to spread sexually transmitted diseases. Indeed, an anonymous online study revealed that openly non-monogamous people are more likely to practice safe sex than cheating individuals in seemingly monogamous relationships. Taking all her findings into consideration, Conley says that married monogamous couples could learn from a poly way of life. They could use using similar ways to communicate and resolve conflict. For example, the idea is that we put too much stress on marriage and we need to give it more oxygen by giving more people resources. By giving people more resources. She says a lot of the strategies used in poly relationships can map onto suggestions of how we improve marriage. I guess. I guess I didn't see that. I mean, because you have to be to have at least some type of strong mind or have a good hold of your emotions to knowingly date somebody who's dating somebody who's dating somebody who's dating somebody. Unfortunately, it's a social stigma. Unfortunately, these positive experiences portrayed by this research does not always translate to positive perceptions of polyamorous people. In fact, poly individuals face many stigmas, and one of the best misconceptions is that it's all about sex. More partners means more bed hopping, right? This is a common view, much to Franklin and Eve's despair. I have been in a committed long term relationship that spans decades. There are easier ways to find sex if sex is what you're interested in. Poly is a lot of work. Having a lifestyle where you can enjoy casual sex and hookups is a lot less work than maintaining 5 current long term relationships. In poly relationships, people aren't simply after a romp in the dark, but they make emotional and loving commitments to each other, taking in the good and the bad. See, that's the problem. I think that's the issue. A lot of people don't think of it like that. They think of it as like sex, having multiple sex partners. Now, maybe women think about it differently, in a sense, but probably I would say a lot of the guys, because women, not all women want to sleep around, but most dudes, most of them. If you had the chance, yes you would. Yes you would. Don't look at here and shake it. No, I wouldn't. Yes you would. Yes, no, yes you would. No, yes you would. Poly people face the same kind of stigmas that singletons might face. Don't call me a singleton. My last name's Gatlin. I'm not saying my last name is not Singleton. It's Gatlin. Okay, don't you put me in there. Don't you put me in that boat. These are similar to the kind of stigmas single people face. Pressure to pair. Monogamy is surrounded by a glowing halo, and anyone who deviates from this norm seems to be viewed negatively. Even people who are in non-monogamous relationships rate monogamous relationships as higher quality. They have internalized this sense that this is not the best thing to be doing, which is kind of sad. Research that shows most children are really happy growing up with lots of adults. See, that's why you never know. These are all opinions. These people put it out as fact, but it's all opinion. I just read one that said it emotionally it messes with children, and now I'm reading one that says research shows that most children, and he said most children. He ever talked to Kennedy? Are really happy growing up with lots of adults. In fact, most kids love it. They benefit from added support and time from any additional parental role within their family unit. These children are more insightful and wise and open to understanding diversity in many forms of religion and culture. I'm not denying that. Excuse me. But I am saying that's why you gotta do your research. And just because somebody research something doesn't mean it's actually correct. Like I said, we just read one that said it messes with the kids. Now we're reading one that says it's great for the kids, and the kid gets to learn multiple cultures, and he can speak 5 languages, and he played basketball, football, soccer, lacrosse, badminton, and all whatever, croquet, what's the cricket? He, he's well versed. He does it all. He does it all. Did I say golf? The children see parents organizing employment, healthcare, making lunch. For them, they see the whole gamut, or gamut, GAMUT. For them, they see the whole gamut of family, of living in a family. But externally, many think polyamory is all about orgies, and that's really hard for the kids. Why does the kid even know about what the orgy is in the first place? Let me get my charger 1 second. So, but then just as quickly in the same article, they kind of, is that a contradiction? They just said that it's good, and now they're saying it's going to be hard for the kids. And if they're children, why do kids even know about orgies? Did you see the people's eyebrow? That's my better people's eyebrow. Uh, None of which is to say poly families are always perfect. They face similar struggles that any family might. For instance, still lives with Eve, still lives with her husband as a life partner, but is no longer romantically involved with him. Then, as well as Franklin, she has been dating another woman for 4 years. Franklin also divorced his first wife of 18 years. Like any relationship, breakups can be difficult, and they are even more complicated if children are involved. So that's dumb then. So what do you got the husband for? Financial support or something? Because you look like you went to the other side. You like women. Just be with the woman. I don't get it. It's like this is a time of greed. We just want everything. We just a time of excess. We just want more and more and more. You don't need 5 wives and 5 husbands. To be honest, you don't need it. I mean, like if you're not going to at least enjoy the comforts of the bed with each other, and I don't know what else do you do? Because there's only so much time in the day you have to work and have to be a dad or and a lover of many women or husbands or however the case is. Interesting. These type of stigmas would be difficult to overcome in part because these family units are not supported by any legal representation. I mean recognition. Regardless, any type of judgment from outside the world can be an unwelcome strain on polyamorous families. If the children underperform at school, it's often attributed to the fact that parents are living in a non monogamous relationship. The children, in turn, try to compensate by being perfect poster kids. It's just so weird that just 2 paragraphs up, they were talking about how it was so beneficial, and then that quickly is now you give me all the cons about the children. Um, so once again, these types of stigmas will be difficult to overcome in part because these family units are not supported by any legal recognition, such as marriage and child custody. The appetite is there, though. She spoke to numerous poly activists and research looking into whether polyamorous marriage might ever polyamorous. Is that how you say it? Polyamorous? I'm probably saying it wrong. Polyamorous, because polygamy polyamorous. All right. Polyamorous marriage might ever legally be possible. A 2012 survey of 4,000 polyamorous people revealed that about 76% of the respondents would be interested in legal marriage if it were available, while 92% agreed that the consensual multi-party marriages among adults should enjoy the same legal status as marriage between two people. This appetite for legal I'm so tired of saying this word. What do you hate? Like, what are you supposed to say it? Poly. The appetite for the legal poly marriage may have arisen as a result of the support given to the same-sex marriage, which is now legal right in the UK and in the US. It galvanized the poly activists. The comparisons has not always been welcomed by the LGBT advocates, however, who felt like it muddied the case for marriage equality. The question many people ask is why polymer, uh, polymary, 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 whatever. If y'all know the correction, let me know. I don't fucking know. Could not receive similar treatment. Yeah. Okay, so they're basically this right here is this is kind of like giving you somebody's story, two people's story. Somebody named Eve and the other guy. And they kind of like going through their backstory or whatever. Cool. Cool. Let me plug this up. All right, so we're gonna move on for that one. It says top 10 reasons the U.S. should legalize polygamy. Hopefully, these reasons are straight and to the point. I don't want to read all that. Polygamy is a valid lifestyle choice. I mean, when the laws of the United States that would govern marriage were set down, the USA was a very difficult. It's a difficult country now. Was a different country. The majority of the population were devout Christians whose religion taught them that marriage was a union of one man and one woman. Groups such as the Mormons of the time and that church, a really long name, were persecuted for their unorthodox beliefs on marriage. Times have changed. Divorce, once a social stigma, is now the norm. Gay marriage, once unthinkable, has been legalized. American society is now far more understanding of what we were once seen as unorthodox lifestyle choices, but not, it appears, for polygamy. Adam and Eve are okay as Adam and Steve. Moving on. There are more women than men in the world. Very true. I'm not even gonna get into like reading all this stuff because I'm approaching the hour and 30, and I'm trying to get out of here. Trying to get y'all out of here. While more babies are born, while more male babies are born than female, men are more likely to die than women, either in accidents or from violent causes. Or, of course, there are countries like China where the one-child policy has resulted in the abortion or abandonment of female children. But for the U.S., Russia, and majority of the Western world, there are typically more women than men. In the U.S., 2002 census showed the men outnumbered women up to the age of 24 years. Above that age, there were more women than men. Okay, so I'm not about to read. I'm not going to read every last one of these. I'm just going to go through. Raising children is easier. It's like I just don't want to leave. They are women bringing their babies home from the hospital would know just how isolating that time it could be. Most men can take only a limited amount of paternity leave, if all, and can be left sore from the birth, suffer from kid. Having more than having more than one other adult in a relationship also means that you're never stuck for a babysitter, really. When you want a romantic night out with your significant other, you have additional support when dealing with a rebellious teen, doing homework, running around for PTA, whatever. 7. Polygamy is endorsed by religions worldwide. Seen through American culture lens, it is easy to think of polygamy as something that is distinctly unusual practice only by a few fundamentalist Mormons and by some Muslims in other parts of the world. Uh, so apparently, it's tolerated in Buddhism, where marriage is seen as purely secular, not religious affair. While modern mainstream Christianity rejects the notion of polygamy, it has been sanctioned in the past, perhaps most famously by Martin Luther King, who felt it was not against any of the teachers of the scripture. Polygamy has been illegal for Indian Hindus from 1955. Traditionally, high caste Hindu men were permitted to practice polygamy with lower caste men. What? With lower. Okay. High caste Hindu men were permitted to practice polygamy, with lower caste men being allowed to take a second wife if the first was unable to bear a son. Polygamy is legal in other countries. About 25%, I guess, of the world allows polygamy. Muslim countries, Tanzania, is that how you say it? Tunisia, whatever. I don't know. I'm not from there. Don't judge me. Turkey, they're okay. They're the exception. They don't tolerate it. But India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, New Zealand, some countries, New Zealand, who else? Central Asia republics. In Swahili, the king has 13 wives. Kyrgyzstan has been debated legalizing polygamy. Kazakhstan. It seems deeply unfair that American men and women are denied the right that their fellow these words polyamorous polyam I don't know, I'm just gonna say polyamorous I don't know, are permitted to indulge in countries as diverse as Nigeria and Indonesia. Moving on. 5. Polygamy provides an in-family support network. We already went through that. 4. Monogamy is not natural. Indeed, only 20% of society sample consider monogamous unions to be normal and desirable. Given this statistic, it is no surprise that when considered of our closest relatives, I truly hate that. Monkeys are not our closest relatives. We don't have no close relative. It's us. That's it. I'm not no like a freaking ape. We're not. Just because he can walk on his freaking legs and has 2 freaking arms does not mean that we are similar. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. I don't care. Darwin's evolution. You were wrong. Which makes me think Darwin or wild thornberries. His name is Darwin, and he's a monkey. I wonder if that has something to do with the Darwin evolution, because the monkey Darwin. But I hate that. Our closest relatives, the apes. No, my closest relatives is my brother. He lives in Bowie. My cousins. They're no fucking ape. We don't share the same blood and DNA. Cut the crap. Approximately 80% engage in polygamous relationships. So now we're getting compared to apes. They're trying to talk about animals having multiple animal wives to humans. All right, moving on. It is true that some animals, about 3 to 5% of all species, mate for life. But even amongst those animals, extramarital affairs are quite common. So, Cheaters, Animal Edition. Watch this cricket. Watch the cricket spank the spider. Polygamy prevents adultery. Or does it? Adultery has been with us for as long as humans have had institutional marriage. Statistics are quite depressing. In the USA, 50% of women, 50% of women, 50% of women and 60% of men will cheat on their spouse. Some key reasons include falling in love with another person, they're not happy with the person that they are married to, or simply they're not getting enough sex or good sex. Okay, we get the point. Polygamy does not have to mean one man, lots of women. Thanks to the influence of Islam and the practice of the early Mormons, polygamous relationships are traditionally seen as being between one man and a lot of women. This does not necessarily have to be the case, and there are many examples of societies in each polyandrous relationships are seen as both legal and desirable. One of the most enduring cultural examples of polyandry is in Tibet, where it is uncommon for two brothers, where it is not uncommon for two brothers or even a brother and a father to marry the same woman. Yes, it is uncommon. Dad, listen, you're not marrying my woman, okay? You're 28 years older than me. We're good. We're good. And I'm the bull. I'm the stallion, okay? All right? Nobody needs you bringing your old bones in here. I don't need your help. I got this. Now, that's interesting, though. Hold up. Given the new laws pertaining to legalization of gay marriage, why they always trying to put the gay marriage? There does not even seem to be an argument to limit polygamous marriages to those which are polygamous marriages to those which are polygamous and polyandrous. Whoo! I need a dictionary for these polyandries and polydrous and polygamies and the polygonies and the polygamous and the polygonton and the polygabars and the. Good lord. Now, what was it? There's no reason why 3 or more lesbians or a number of gay men should not be permitted to contract a polyamorous relationship which is recognized and protected by law. 3 women? Y'all need a suitor? You need a couple of hands here? And last but not least, for the 10 reasons, polygamy will ensure all surviving spouses are legally protected. And we've already went through that with the last name and we talked about that. Yeah, okay. So already, there's no need to read this because it's basically what I've already read, just a different article. Get out of my way. Polygamy is about to be decriminalized in Utah. Is it good news for women? This will be probably the last one, and I'll wrap up my idea, and then we'll be done here. Growing up in the polygamous community. Shirley Draper heard stories about her father's childhood, how he was pulled out from under his bed in the government raid and taken from his parents. Did we stumble into the wrong? I thought we were talking about polygamy, not kidnapping. What the hell? I grew up with an intense fear of outsiders. We called people who drove into town that were not part of our community kidnappers. We knew that was the fate we could suffer as our parents had suffered. Draper, a member of the FLDS, of course, that church that's poisoning people's minds apparently, led by Warren Jeffs, the man that likes to sleep with 12 and 15-year-olds. So she felt like it was Draper's a girl. She realized she had been trapped. I saw firsthand how the leaders were able to gain control because of the fear of law enforcement. So that's how they get them. That's how you keep your group so tight. Got you. Fear always works. Fear mongering, it works. That's what they're doing now. I had no way to get help. Everywhere I went, I was visually identifiable as a felon, and I was greeted with hostility. Yeah. Later, when her mother tried to leave the community and apply for a driver's license, Draper said she was still wearing her FLDS clothing, a collared ankle-length dress with puffed sleeves. A clerk and employee of the state of Utah denied her a driver's license and told her to her face, "We don't want you here." As a result, my mom went back to Colorado City, and she died because she could not access the medical care that she needed. Well, that's not funny. That's sad. But why? We have to stop hating people for their beliefs and the things that they do. Dog, let people be who they are. But to sit here and hate somebody, for their ideology or the way they think or the things they believe in is stupid. Oh, I hate you because you believe in Christmas and we believe in Hanukkah. We were just raised two different ways. That's something to hate you for. This is a woman that just died because she couldn't get medical help because she came from a background that you didn't understand. You're judging somebody. So when God judges you, have that same energy. Draper is now the director of operations for Cherished Families, an organization serving people affected by polygamy. What we've done is we've legislated prejudicial treatment to a second class citizenry. Citizenry. Let's not create populations and communities that are vulnerable to that kind of exploitation and abuse. We've done it to people of color. We've done it to sex workers. We do it to undocumented immigrants. We decide they're not worthy of living in society, so we ostracize them, which practically guarantees that they will be exploited, that they will be harmed. Today's prohibition on polygamy has created a shadow society in which the vulnerable makes easy prey because of the very real fear of imprisonment, losing employment, not being treated fairly, and having their children taken into state custody. We now have an environment where crime often goes unreported, victims are silenced, and perpetrators are empowered. Under the bill, polygamy is still considered a felony if the person also commits other felonies offenses, including criminal homicide, kidnapping, trafficking, smuggling, sexual offenses, or child abuse. This bill strikes a balance between giving certainty to otherwise law-abiding polygamists that they don't have to fear prosecution, imprisonment, or having their children removed simply because they live a polygamous lifestyle, while also holding those who commit serious crimes accountable for their actions. Utah has has some of the most severe laws on polygamy in the nation. It is also the greatest number of people living with plural marriages, estimated to be in the thousands. Though it is impossible to get precise numbers because many live in hiding. Duh. Yeah, it can be tracked back to their Latter-day Saints. People say it says, but in order to become a state, the federal government required Utah to write in its constitution that polygamous and plural marriages are forever prohibited. Oh, write that into your bill. They made polygamy a felony in 1935. We live in such draconian laws. So stupid. She believes it is not fair prosecution that isolates people. It's the control tactics of the polygamous leaders themselves. Yeah, they tell you don't trust anything that doesn't come from the church. Men have had authority from God. They supposedly talk with and for God. And so whatever the men say, that's what it is. Like I said, David Koresh, Jim Jones, just to name two off the top that I could just think of, guys who used the Bible, who knew the Bible like the back of their hand, and would use it to manipulate and do what they wanted to do. Was afraid of losing their children, not because of the government, but because of the male leaders. They had gone through a process of deciding who was worthy and who was not worthy. 3 of my children have been judged worthy, and I and my husband and our other children were not worthy. So they were going to take half my children, give them to a more worthy family. There was no way I was going to let anybody take my children, so we left. Wow. Nicholson believes more government intervention is needed, not less. I don't believe that Utah really has the intention of truly prosecuting the crimes that are going on. They have evidence. They don't care. They don't seem to care, excuse me. To be told what happened to you wasn't a crime is really hurtful. Oh, well, you know what? I'm not going to go there. This is about this, and we're going to stick with that. I don't know what just happened, but it just moved my screen. Can you not do that again? Don't do that again, please. Stop moving my screen. And why are you popping up pictures 5 minutes after I had the screen up? I don't even know where I was now. It just kept bouncing me around. Well, we get the point. I'm convinced that polygamy is a symptom of the problem, but it is not the problem itself. The problem is patriarchal hierarchy with religious penalties that takes a lot more to dismantle than a piece of legislation. And with that, read, I'm gonna give you my final thoughts on it. That's a lot of information that just stuffed in here in an hour and 40 minutes. Here's my intake. Like I said at the beginning, anything can work given the right people. Understanding the whole picture. You just can't just go around screaming polygamy and you don't understand the history, you don't understand the background. So for all the people that claim to be polygamous or want to be polygamy or be in a polygamous relationship and all that, do your research. If you're only doing it for the sex, wrong reason to do it. If you're using it to try to control and manipulate, wrong reason to do it. If you're doing it so you can somehow get closer to little girls, definitely the wrong reason to do it. And if I catch you, I'm gonna kick your ass, Batman style, vigilante, catch you in the streets. Ultimately, I think anything that can be good can be used as bad. And I mean, I'm just saying in my Bible, I do know about a lot of the prophets and people having multiple wives. I don't know where the notion came from, where it was one man, one wife, one man, one husband, one woman, one wife. I'm trying to be fair to everybody because it's not just man, woman these days. So I'm trying to put everybody under that umbrella. So the cons were very conny, huge cons, manipulating people, rape, sexual assault, using fear to control. All of those things are bad. However, if you have educated people, not even just educated, like-minded people, reasonable people, this could work. And I think because of the social media and the access to so many people, this will be a lifestyle. 100 years from now, there won't be one husband, one wife. There probably will be houses with 4 or 5. I mean, it could be you got a girlfriend, a side piece. She got her dude, like, and everybody just being there, smoking weed and paying bills together. You know what I'm saying? So my final take on it is, I can't say it's morally right. I can't say it's morally wrong. It's life. And nowhere have I seen that you can't love who you love and be with the people you want to be with. But my thing is, if you're not strong enough, if you're not secure enough in yourself, you should not do it. If you know you don't want to see, you can't take seeing your man touch another woman or a woman touch him, don't do it. Don't put yourself in a losing situation. You don't have to. If it's too much, then it's too much, and you can walk away. And if he can't understand that, or if she can't feel you, and they still want that lifestyle, then you got to go. But don't force yourself to be in something that you're not into. You can try it out. You ain't like it. It's no wrong in hitting the road, Jack. So I'm gonna wrap it up with this. If you are in a polygamy, polygamo, polygala, poly pocket, however they say it, if you're in it, be safe, be smart. And I'm sure you're in it and you know the rules. And you should understand that there shouldn't be no jealousy. And work around each other's times and all that good stuff. Like, I also believe, like I said, it could be good, it could be bad. But for the people that's doing it the right way, keep doing it the right way. And don't worry about what people got to say. Because you came in this world by yourself. You're going to leave by yourself. You're going to be judged by yourself. So that's us. We just went through that. All the polygamy. I would like to hear your comments. See what you think about it. We can talk more about it. But what you think about that? You had your pros, your cons. We went through through all of that. We went through good, bad, ugly, in between. Try to have a little fun in between and keep you entertained with the conversation. I think I'm not sure what my next topic will be, but I'll have something soon. So thanks for sticking around. Hopefully this was some type of informative. Hopefully this starts a conversation. Till next time, the Jefe Files. Dun, 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 dun. Smoke weed.